Hey, it's Greg. Today we're going to talk about problems. Specifically, we're going to talk about how you look at a problem and how that affects the problem. See, your problem is not the problem, at least not in the way you probably think. The way you look at the problem, I think that's a huge part of it. See, you have this thing in your life. You hate your job, you're depressed, you're addicted, you're in a bad relationship. Whatever it is, you've got this thing in your life and you're really tired of it. But that thing is not the sole problem. Let me explain. Your obsession with the problem is a huge part of the problem. You sit around and you think about it and you dwell on it. Does thinking about how much you hate your job get you a raise? Or does it get you a better boss or better coworkers or whatever it is you want? No. Does sitting around and thinking about how depressed you are make you happy? No. When you sit around and dwell on the negative, all that it brings is more negative. You dwell on the bad stuff, you just feel worse. Obsess on your goals. Obsess on who you want to be, where you want to be, what you want out of life. That's the secret. Now, granted, just thinking about that stuff, obsessing on it in your mind, isn't going to fix it either. We've already talked about in previous videos or whatever format you get this in, we've already talked about how just making a plan doesn't fix anything. You got to act. So just obsessing on what you want isn't going to fix it. But what happens is if you obsess on what you want out of life, you obsess on who you want to be, what your goals are, it will prompt you to take action. Then you'll start to see some results. If you don't believe me, I challenge you. Just pick a time frame. We'll say a week. That's not that long. Just for the next week, every time you're tempted to dwell on the negative, shift your thinking and force yourself to dwell on something positive. Force yourself to think about who you want to be, where you want to be, what you want to accomplish, what your goals are. Force yourself to think about those things. I would encourage you to write those thoughts down. Write down who you want. Hopefully you already have written down who you want to be. If you've seen me, we wrote it down together. Hopefully you still have that written down somewhere. But write down those thoughts. Write down the positive stuff. What will happen, the more you think about that stuff, the more positivity you'll think about, if that makes sense. More positivity brings more positivity. And then you'll start to act. You'll start to see results. Results bring more motivation, more action. It just keeps feeding into itself. We've talked about this before too. So try it. Just try for a week, forcing yourself to dwell on what you want, who you want to be, and not dwelling on your problems. One huge thing that you'll notice in this course of action is that your problem will transform. It won't go away. It won't go, probably any significant problem you have is probably not going to be resolved in 1 week. But the way you look at it will change. Your perspective will change. It'll go from this huge problem that's having this terrible impact on your life to a challenge that you're determined to overcome. Once your perspective changes, your attitude changes, your actions change, and then eventually your life changes. You eventually change. That's the goal. So stop obsessing on the problems. Start obsessing on who you want to be, what you want out of life. That's what you got to do. All the usual stuff. EvolutionMHS.com, Facebook, Evolution Mental Health Services, Instagram and Twitter at EvolutionMHS, YouTube, EvolutionMHS, Greg at EvolutionMHS.com. Hook me up if you're interested. If not, I still hope you benefit from the video or however you got this. That's it. Have a great week.